The print has now been completed on the Osei Arizona 250 GT and is now ready to be cut. Here we have printed onto acrylic, which will require using the router. To protect the table surface from the router, we are using a sheet of MDF board as a spoil board underneath the acrylic. The cutting table incorporates a powerful vacuum system that will hold the substrate down despite the MDF board. Before we can begin, we first need to calibrate the cutting depth of the router bit so that we don't cut too deep or too shallow. To accomplish this, we use the automatic knife initialization tool, which slowly lowers the blade until it breaks a laser beam. This eliminates any guesswork and accurately determines the 0 point of the tool. This calibration can then be saved with the tool and recalled later, making changeovers quick and precise. Before we start cutting, the system also needs to know the orientation of the printed piece on the table, and then match that to the cutting data which was sent from Prepare-It. To do this, the system utilizes a software program called Touch and Cut, and an integrated closed-circuit camera that locates the optical registration marks on the print. This feature means that the operator doesn't need to precisely position the media on the table. An added benefit is that the Touch and Cut software will automatically match the cutting file to the print and correct for any skew or distortion caused during printing. This means that you have accurate, consistent cutting across the entire sheet. Using the cursor keys, the operator manually moves the cutting head over the first registration mark. Once recognized, the Touch and Cut system compares this to the cutting data and looks for the additional registration marks. Once the optical registration process is completed, the cutting begins. Our 1 kilowatt router makes short work of the acrylic sheet. The perfectly trimmed pieces are now ready for shipping, and we're ready to move on to our decal job. The cutting system supports roll-based media using the roll-off system at the end of the table. The printed roll is placed on the rollers, and the media is then pulled up and over the conveyor belt surface. This conveyor consists of a continuous loop of a tough, durable, carpet-like material that withstands normal cutting tools. Now let's prepare the cutting tools. Since one of these decals requires two different types of cuts, a kiss cut and a through cut, we'll change the tool head from the combination fixed router and single tool to the dual tool head. Changing tools is easy and only requires a screwdriver, and about a minute to accomplish. We've loaded the kiss cut and drag knife tool parameters from before, and now it's just a matter of calling up the correct cutting data and then locating the registration marks. To load the correct cutting data, Touch and Cut gives the operator the ability to scan a barcode that the Prepare-It software included in the print file. Next, we adjust the focal distance of the camera and manually locate the first registration mark. KISS cutting begins and quickly speeds through a variety of straight and curved cuts in both designs. Once completed, the system instantly begins the through cutting of the OSE Streamlined Workflow decal design, just as we wanted. In no time, the job is done. The OSE Streamlined Workflow decals are cut into individual pieces, and the round corner decal can be separated from the liner.